This is everything I ate in Oahu. This is day 1 of our trip. For dinner, we got poke at Foodland. I got spicy salmon with rice and furikake on top. The rice was so hot, it cooked the poke, but that's okay because it was still absolutely delicious. The salmon was fresh, and the masago added a nice salty texture to the poke. Drinking Hawaiian Sun is always a must when you're in Hawaii. Lilikoi Passion is one of my favorite flavors. We also bought ube butter mochi at Foodland, and it was so soft, so chewy, and just the right amount of sweetness. These are Maui-style shrimp chips, but they don't actually have a shrimpy taste. The texture is kind of puffy. Is that the right word? It's crunchy yet airy and a bit salty. This is day 2. For brunch, my dad picked up chop suey noodles from Island Manapua Factory. Fun fact, my dad grew up in Oahu from when he was in 5th to 10th grade, and then his family moved to the mainland. But he said these noodles reminded him of when he was a kid because he'd buy chop suey noodles from the food trucks outside his school. My dad also got rice cake from Island Manapua Factory. And these are Spanish rolls from Nanding's Bakery. They are absolute buttery, heavenly goodness. I like to eat the ones from the bottom because they soak up the butter from the top rolls, and so they taste more buttery. At least that's what I like to think. I loved the texture of the chop suey noodles. They were firm and the taste was savory with a sweet, sly, charred taste from the onions. The Spanish rolls were so soft. Look at that inside. And the rice cake was more savory than sweet. For dinner, we got food from L&L. This is the mini fried shrimp plate. It came with 5 pieces of shrimp, but I gave one to my sister. And there's also 1 scoop of rice and 1 scoop of mac salad. The shrimp was so crispy and flavorful. It was kind of meaty too, like in the sense that those were thick pieces of shrimp. Also, I love mac salad from L&L. I'm usually not a huge fan of mayo unless it's Kewpie mayo or it's mac salad. Also, you know how I gave a piece of shrimp to my sister? Well, she gave me a piece of her fried fish, so that's what I'm eating in this clip. And I'm drinking Pog, or Pasaguava, and it's my #1 favorite flavor of Hawaiian Sun. Then in the evening, we got ice cream from Lappert's. I got a scoop of ube hopia and a scoop of Magnut ice cream. It's not the best ice cream I've had, but the ube hopia was so coconutty and sweet, while the nuts in the Magnut ice cream tasted kind of cheesy. And then we walked back to our hotel and watched the fireworks from our room. Day 3. For lunch, we got poke again from Foodland. I got the 2-choice bowl, so I got salmon in a Korean sauce and ahi in an oyster sauce. My dad met up with his childhood friends for lunch, so my sister and I got drinks from Infinity. This is the ube in love, and it was sweet, creamy, coconutty, and the coconut jelly added a nice chewy texture. For dinner, we had lots of Filipino food. We got pancit, sari-sari, squid guisado, lechon, fried bangus, and 6 scoops of rice. All of this was from Elena's Home of Finest Filipino Foods, which we found out was also featured in Triple D. Out of everything we had, my favorites were the pancit, sari-sari, and fried bangus. I'm a pescatarian, so I didn't eat the lechon or the pork in the pancit and sari-sari, but my family said they really enjoyed them. Day 4. For breakfast, my dad picked up plain and filled malasadas from Leonard's. For the filling, my dad got 2 Magnut, 2 hopia, and 2 guava. I grabbed a Magnut filled one to eat on the way to the swap meet, and I tried to aesthetically open the malasada, but it was spilling out from the end, and the camera was shaking because my sister saw that happen and was like, watch out, it's spilling out. The Magnut filling was so good. It wasn't too sweet, the filling was light and creamy, and I loved the little bits of Magnuts too. After doing some shopping at the swap meet, my sister and I met up with our parents who got us pancit and turon to share. Pancit was savory and reminded me a lot of my grandma's pancit. And the turon, which is like a banana or plantain wrapped in a lumpia wrapper and deep fried, was crunchy and sweet. And my dad also bought papaya for us, and oh my goodness, it was so cold, so sweet, so fresh, and so soft it melted in my mouth. For lunch, we got Popeyes, and I don't know how this started, but it's been a sort of tradition for us for the past 20 years to get Popeyes every time we're in Oahu. It's nothing special, just a 1/4 pound of popcorn shrimp with a biscuit, some Cajun fries my sister gave me, and a side of red beans and rice. A few hours later, we came back to the hotel, and I tried these hot pot flavored potato chips that I found in the store. It was spicy and a bit cinnamony, but I really liked it. And here's a sunset break. Alright, for dinner, I just had leftovers from yesterday's dinner and the shrimp tempura musubi from yesterday too. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that at the swap meet, I bought some art from a man who sells his wife's art. I recognize him because I bought some art from him a few years ago, and here's the art I bought. Day 5. We ate brunch at Eggs and Things. This is our favorite go-to brunch spot when we're in Oahu. I got the ahi with a furikake and Magnut crust, eggs, and potatoes. I like my eggs over hard because I don't really like runny yolk. Oh, and there was a little side of salsa too. I also shared a mochi waffle with fresh pineapple and whipped cream with my sister. Oh my goodness, this was a 10 out of 10 brunch. The ahi was so tender, yet juicy, and I especially loved the crunchiness from the crust. Also, there were little bits of magnets in the whipped cream on the waffle, and that was just a beautiful addition to the waffle. You definitely need to try the mochi waffle because it was so chewy, slightly sweet, and didn't feel like a heavy dish at all. I think the mochi waffle was my favorite thing I ate for brunch. Then we walked along Waikiki, saw the water, and then walked to Kapiolani Park. We also took some pictures in front of Diamond Head and saw lots of little birds flying around. On our way back to the hotel, we stopped by Nana's Green Tea, which is located in Stick's Asian Food Hall. I got a matcha soft serve in a cone, and it was so creamy and sweet, mixed with the slight bitterness of the matcha. But the matcha wasn't too bitter, and the cone tasted like vanilla. It was so good, my mom wanted to taste it too. Back at the hotel, my sister convinced me to play Webkinz with her. I know, it's so random. We played this a lot when we were kids, so it felt pretty nostalgic to play it again. I adopted an ice fawn and named her Flurry. For dinner, we ate poke again. Surprise, surprise. This was salmon and ahi in my bowl. And of course, I had to pair the meal with pog. We ate poke so many times during this trip, as you'll see in future clips of this video. But we never got tired of eating it. Every time I eat poke in Hawaii, I just fall in love with it every time, and I crave it so much. It's just that amazing to me. To end the day, we watched the sunset from our room. Day 6. So this was a quick breakfast before we left for the beach. My mom prepared instant noodles, but she likes to use only half of the seasoning packet, so it was a little bland, not gonna lie. But it was a nice, comforting little meal to fill up our tummies before we headed for the beach. On the way, we stopped by Nanding's bakery to buy Spanish rolls. Look how buttery this roll was, so soft, so buttery, and so delicious to eat. We stopped by Halona Blowhole and it was so windy here. Then we parked at Sandy Beach, and after we dipped our toes in the water, we sat down and ate some snacks. I ate some shrimp chips and put Havarti cheese inside my Spanish roll for the perfect bite. We also saw a bird walking by us. Then we drove to Kailua Beach and dipped our toes in the water again. Here's me and my sister. And then for dinner, we got poke at Malama Market. Yes, poke again, I know. I got a one-choice bowl, and this was ahi with some onions and, I think, cucumber. We parked at a park and ate in the car. Hey, that rhymed. And honestly, I really enjoy eating in the car. You're in your own private space, no wind to blow your hair in your face, no bugs to swat away. My sister gave me a piece of salmon that was so soft it melted in my mouth. At that moment, I wish I got salmon instead of ahi, but that's okay. Also, we saw a cat outside that looked like one of my cats. Then for dessert, we stopped by Dave's Ice Cream in Waimalu. I got 1 scoop of chocolate magna and 1 scoop of honeydew mochi. Holy moly, one of the best ice creams I've ever had. The chocolate was not too rich, and the honeydew mochi tasted exactly like a Malona bar. Day 7. For brunch, we got poke again. This was from Malama Market, and I got the 2-choice bowl. I got spicy salmon and fresh salmon. We ate on a picnic table at Waimea Beach, and I was actually planning on going swimming in the water, but the waves were way too rough on this day, so no one was allowed to swim or go close to the water except for surfers. I also drank some coconut water with my little brunch, and then we moved to a different table with the better view of the water. I had some shrimp chips, and we just sat there and watched the waves and the surfers. Do you see them in the water? We looked at the water one last time before heading over to Dole Plantation, where we of course had to get Dole soft serve. It was creamy and thick with a refreshing pineapple flavor, and we ate it in the car because there was no more tables left to sit at. For dinner, we ate at Gomete, and we always have to eat here when we come to Oahu. It's one of our favorite ramen spots, and I ordered the wakame tantan ramen. It is a sesame and subtle spicy broth with lots of wakame, green onions, veggies, and an ajitama egg. The broth was so warm, comforting, and not too salty or rich. I was about to take a bite, but my dad wanted to take family selfie first. This bowl was absolute perfection. I mean, look at this egg bathing in the broth. Day 8. We ate lunch at Oh My Grill. I ordered the garlic fish fillet with rice and mac salad, and I also got a milk tea with lychee jelly. And the fork was so cute with this little winky face. Oh my goodness, this was a crispy fish that tasted like it descended from garlicky, buttery heaven. The garlic was not overpowering at all, and the milk tea was refreshing and surprisingly not too sweet, even though I didn't adjust the sweetness level. For an afternoon snack, my dad picked up malasadas for us. This time he just got the plain ones with no filling. What you don't see here is that I have a napkin below me to catch all the sugar that falls out every time I take a bite. I love malasadas even though they make quite the mess. I also sprinkled the sugar left on my fingers on the malasada so that I don't waste any sugar. For dinner, we picked up food at Palama Supermarket. This is chives jun, kimbap, and sweet potatoes. Palama Supermarket is a Korean market, kind of like H-Mart. When I was a kid, there was a little bento place next door with a little window where you'd order and pick up your bentos. I forgot the name of that place and it isn't there anymore, but man, those bentos were so good. And I remember my family and I just eating them in the car. Day 9. For our last brunch of the trip, we ate at Geb Cafe. I got ube mascarpone pancakes topped with fresh blueberries and strawberries and bang silog, which was basically fried milkfish with garlic fried rice, egg, and vinegar. The pancakes were so soft and the mascarpone was sweet with a nice ube flavor, and I could tell that it actually tasted like ube. I loved dipping the fried milkfish in the vinegar, and the garlic fried rice was so garlicky in a good way, but my breath definitely smelled like garlic after brunch. My mom and sister shared the adobo fried rice omelet, and my dad got the loco moco fried rice. And dinner was an interesting combination of foods. It felt more like a girl dinner. But my sister has been wanting to try the habanero lime bulldog ramen, so we made that and also got Korean corn dogs from Mr. Cow. I got the flaming cheetah, which is the corn dog topped with flaming hot Cheeto crumbs and spicy mayo. My dad also bought strawberry milk tea for us, which definitely helped with the spice, but messed with our stomachs because my sister and I are a bit lactose intolerant. So my sister and I split the noodles. We also ate tempura chips with the noodles, which added a nice crunchiness. I was watching my sister's reaction, and the spice was getting to her pretty quickly. I think the spice discombobulated her as well because she forgot I was filming and knocked my phone down. Just kidding. I love you, sister. Anyways, here I am trying the corn dog, and I actually liked it a lot. The hot Cheeto crumbs added some cheesiness to the corn dog, although I wasn't able to get a cheese pull. Here I am dying from the spice and telling my sister that I could feel the heat in my ears. After a quick nap, we tried to catch the sunset at the beach, but we were a couple minutes too late. We ended the night with ice cream sandwiches. This is the sea salt caramel swirl flavor. It was sea salt caramel with pieces of fudge and sandwiched between two snickerdoodle cookies. I'm a sucker for sea salt and caramel, and I just love a sweet and salty combo, so this ice cream sandwich was perfect. The sugar from the snickerdoodles were falling off, but no worries because I caught them with my hand and didn't waste them. This was very sweet, so I had to balance the sweetness out with something savory. So I ate leftover sweet potatoes and kimbap from yesterday's dinner, and we watched the fireworks from our room. Day 10. Before leaving for the airport, I ate some instant ramen and leftover ube mascarpone pancakes. I just want to say thank you if you watched this video to its entirety. Some of these places are places my family and I have regularly ate for the past couple decades, and some of these places were new places that we wanted to try on this trip. My dad grew up here, and there's always new memories he shares every time we visit Oahu. We've come every few years to see my dad's childhood friends, my grandpa who lived in Oahu for a few years before we helped him move to the mainland, and I guess it's also a trip of nostalgia for my dad. When I was younger, I didn't care much about my parents' childhoods, but now that I'm older, and now that they're getting older, I'm interested in hearing about their stories and how they grew up. Stories of what they did as kids, who they hung out with, their favorite foods as kids. I'm happy I shared these food moments with you all, and I hope you'll be here to watch these moments again in a few years the next time we visit Oahu. Thank you.